Welcome to the Steve Ames Show with guitarist Sandy Renda, pianist Mike Yanuzzi, and my special guest, concert pianist EMMA MAMAYEVA. And now on with the show. Everybody feeling grand, swinging down the lane. Everybody hand in hand, swinging down the lane. That's the time I miss the bliss that I might have known. On nights like this, when we're both alone. When the moon is on the rise, honey, I'm so blue. Watching lovers making eyes like we used to do. When the moon is on the wane, still I'm waiting all in vain. Should be swinging down the lane with you. Oh, everybody hand in hand, swinging down the lane. Oh, everybody feeling grand, swinging down the lane. That's the time I miss the bliss that I might have known. Nights like this, when we're both alone. When the moon is on the rise, honey, I'm so blue. Watching lovers making eyes like they used to do. When the moon is on the wane, still I'm waiting all in vain. Should be swinging down the lane with you. Swinging Down the Lane, written by Gus Kahn and Isham Jones. And tonight, that's exactly what we're doing. We're swinging down the lane to a brand new taping location right here at the West 22 Diner in Springfield, New Jersey. For the last 6 years, we were very happy to be taping our show right up the street, or is it down the street? Well, it's on the same highway, Route 22. We were at the Hotel 304 West, formerly known as the Holiday Inn in Springfield, for the last 6 years. But tonight we begin a new chapter at the West 22 Diner with the two mighty musicians at the guitar, Sandy Renda. At the piano, Mike Yanuzzi. And we are opening our show tonight with songs written by Gus Kahn, the lyricist, and Isham Jones, the composer. You know, a standard is a song which has stood the test of time. And this next, Gus Kahn, Isham Jones composition, is definitely a standard. It had to be you. It had to be you. I wandered around and finally found the somebody who could make me be true, could make me be blue, and even be glad just to be sad thinking of you. Some others I've seen might never be mean, might never be cross or try to be boss, but they wouldn't do. For nobody else gave me a thrill. With all your faults, I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you. No other affair could even compare with this one you've set. For nobody else gave me a thrill. With all your faults, I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you. Sandy Renda.
Steve, nice seeing you guys.
Mike Yanuzzi. Thank you for helping me celebrate the music of Gus Kahn and Isham Jones. I love the way you played It Had to Be You, one of my favorite songs. You know, I recorded that song on my album, The Roaring Twenties Roar Again, back in 1986, and it's now currently out on CD. It Had to Be You. And, of course, we opened up with Swinging Down the Lane because that's what we did, swinging down the lane from the Hotel 304 right here to the West 22 Diner. Let's hear it for our new taping location, everybody. Let's hear it.
West 22 Diner.
Sandy, how do you like our new taping location?
Nice, intimate, it's cozy, room sounds good.
And you
The
can get
food is good?
And we get food. Yeah, that's the best thing.
And, Mike, you like it here, too?
I do. It's a very nice room.
Yes,
Very nice.
Thank you very much. You've been on the show now. Both of you have been on the show since 1999. And we were still at the Jerry Leopoldi Studios in Montclair back in 1999. You remember that place? And then
I remember the stairs.
the stairs. And then after that, we taped for 1 year at Chiaffi's in Union. And then after that, we were at Daddy-O's in Garwood for about a year.
Right.
And then we finally came into Springfield at La Trattoria Restaurant. And then the Kenilworth Inn in Kenilworth for 3 years. And then, of course, the Hotel 304 West, also known as Holiday Inn, for 6 years. But tonight, a new chapter begins at the West 22 Diner. Good acoustics, by the way, folks. Very good acoustics.
Do you realize we've been on tour?
Yeah, we've been on tour. That's right. And I'm not even mentioning our summer tapings. I didn't even mention our many years at Robert Preon's Oasis in Woodbridge, outdoors in the summertime. And now currently the summers we spend at the Park Place pool in Springfield. So anyway, enough about the taping locations. Let's hear about Sandy Renda's exciting career. What have you been up to, my friend?
Well, I just did a nice jazz thing up at Calandra's in West Caldwell with two very good friends and excellent musicians, Gene Moriello and Nikki Denise. And it was a nice turnout. We had a good night.
I know those two musicians.
Yeah.
They're good. I sang with you at the Chestnut
Yes,
Chateau.
you did.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you're doing well. And, Mike, you've been busy, too.
I've been busy with the Zephyr Vocal Ensemble. We've been working hard on our spring concert upcoming in June. And we just appeared up in Warwick, New York, at a benefit for an organization called Earthen Bowls, which raises money for hunger. And that was very successful. We had a real good time there. So we've been staying busy with that.
Very good. I'm glad to hear that. That's a good charity to work for.
Yes. Well, we've been, putting ourselves out there and trying to get more exposure. So.
And you're doing good for benefit.
Yeah.
For a benefit.
It worked out very well.
That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. And Sandy, you and Mike have a very special number for tonight's first show at the West 22 Diner. What is it?
Well, it's a beauty by the Beatles, And I Love Her. That's the name of the song.
And I Love Her. Let's hear it for Sandy and Mike. For our very first show taped here at the West 22 Diner, we have a very special guest. Making her fourth appearance on the show, the very talented concert pianist, EMMA MAMAYEVA. EMMA MAMAYEVA, welcome to the show. And I couldn't think of a nicer guest to have for our first taping at the West 22 Diner than my very good friend Emma. And Emma, I really enjoyed that medley that you just played from Fiddler on the Roof. You played three of the great hits from that show, Matchmaker, L'Chaim, and Far From the Home I Love. Let's hear it for Emma. Emma, what have you been up to lately? I hear you're very busy.
I'm busy with my students. I'm teaching in my studio in Springfield.
That's right. You're a piano teacher for many, many years now.
Yes, and I love my job, and I love teaching, and I love my students.
Isn't that nice? And you've been teaching steadily since you came to the United States. Am I correct?
Yes, yes. And before I came.
Before you came. How long have you been in the USA?
20 years.
Exactly 20 years.
This September was exactly, September 11th was 20 years.
Was it 1992 that you arrived?
1992.
Well, congratulations on 20 years in the United States.
You.
Let's hear it again for Emma. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And I know that you have a website that you want to give out?
Yes, EMMAPianoStudio.com.
One more time.
EMMAPianoStudio.com.
And I know that when you were with us the last time, you talked about the many books that you have written, the How to Play Piano books. Tell us about that.
The books, it's about a very easy method to learn how to play popular music. And I'm teaching with this method very successfully.
And how many books have you written?
6.
6 books?
Yeah.
So it's a series of 6 books?
No, one book for beginners.
Right.
Then 2 books. It's fairy tales with music. It's ballet stories by Tchaikovsky. It's Sleeping Beauty and Nutcracker. And then 4 books of my method. This method goes very well with teenagers and adult students.
People of all ages who want to learn how to play the piano.
Yes.
So if people want to know more about the books that you have written, they can look on your website.
Yes, the book's called Play Along with Emma.
Play Along with Emma. And of course, our own
Yes.
Jerry Schoenthal behind the camera, our producer-director, produced a beautiful video called Play Along with Emma
Yes,
in
it
2011, and I had the pleasure of interviewing you on that video.
It's a beautiful
And
video.
they can still see the video on YouTube, right?
Yes, on YouTube it will be soon, but you can see my video on in my website.
One more time with the website.
EMMAPianoStudio.com.
Very good, very
We have
good.
very full information about studio, about my students, about my books, everything about me.
Play Along with Emma. And now it's
Yes.
time to listen to Emma. She has part 2 of her medley from Fiddler on the Roof. The great songs from Fiddler on the Roof were written by Jerry Bach, who wrote the music, and Sheldon Harnick, who wrote the lyrics. And of course, Fiddler on the Roof debuted back in 1964 on Broadway with Zero Mostel as its first star. And later, Herschel Bernardi took over the role. And then in 1972, a movie was made, Fiddler on the Roof, starring Topol. I'm sure you've seen that movie.
Yes,
It's
and
very good.
This movie was introduced to me by my teacher in the college where I went to learn English. And the teacher introduced me to this movie, and I love this movie. And I make medley from
Isn't
these
that great?
songs from this movie.
That's wonderful. Now, I understand your
Yes.
next medley will include the big hits, Sunrise, Sunset, and If I Were a
Yes.
Rich Man.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Emma Mamayeva.
Thank
you,
you.
Emma.
Thank you.
Right now, a centennial tribute to a great entertainer, Danny Kaye, who was born exactly 100 years ago on January 18th, 1913 in Brooklyn. Danny Kaye could do everything: singing, dancing, acting, comedy, mimicry. He was a true entertainer extraordinaire. He was born David Daniel Kaminsky and began his career in the Catskills. Soon he was appearing in Broadway shows such as The Straw Hat Review, Lady in the Dark, and Let's Face It, before going on to Hollywood. Of all Danny's stage successes, his greatest came in 1948 when he appeared at the London Palladium, where he was a tremendous hit. And here's one of the numbers he performed at the London Palladium. First you put your two knees close up tight. You sway them to the left and you sway them to the right. Step around the floor kind of nice and light. You twist around and twist around with all of your might. Stretch your loving arms straight out in space. You do the eagle rock with style and grace. Swing your foot way round and bring it back. Now that's what I call ballin' the jack. First you put your two knees close up tight. You sway them to the left and sway them to the right. Step around the floor kind of nice and light. You twist around and twist around with all of your might. Stretch your loving arms straight out in space. You do the eagle rock with style and grace. Swing your foot way out and bring it back. Now that's what I call ballin' the jack. Danny Kaye is best remembered for the many movies that he made. In 1944, he signed a contract with the Samuel Goldwyn Studios. His Goldwyn films include Up in Arms, Wonder Man, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and Hans Christian Andersen. Then in the 1950s, Danny appeared in many films for Paramount, including Knock on Wood, and the film that's considered to be his best, The Court Jester. Danny also co-starred with Bing Crosby in Irving Berlin's White Christmas. Then in the 1960s, Danny appeared on TV in his own variety series, The Danny Kaye Show for CBS, which ran for 4 seasons. With all his success on stage, screen, and television, Danny was proudest of the humanitarian work he did for UNICEF. For many years, Danny Kaye was the goodwill ambassador for UNICEF, raising money and entertaining children all over the world. On a personal note, Danny was married for 46 years to songwriter Sylvia Fine. Sylvia Fine wrote most of Danny's special material. Together, Danny and Sylvia had a daughter, and they named her Dina. So we'd like to close off our Danny Kaye centennial celebration with the song Danny sang about Dina. Dina, is there anyone finer in the state of Carolina? If there is and you know her, show her to me. Oh, Dina, with her Dixie eyes blazing, how I love to sit and gaze into the eyes of Dina Lee. Oh, every night, why do I shake with fright? Because my Dina might change her mind about me. Oh, Dina, if she wanted to China, I would hop an ocean with Lena just to be with Dina Lee. Oh, 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 every night. Why do I shake with fright? Because my Dina might change her mind about me. Oh, 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 Dina, if she wanted to China, I would hop an ocean Lena just to be with Dina Lee. Good night.